We now move over to our Sounders, who had 2 matches over the course of the past week, one of them being in the U.S. Open Cup. And as opposed to last year's U.S. Open Cup, where Seattle ended up one and done, they are moving on. So April 26th versus the San Diego Loyal was a 5-4 win in extra time. Our player of the match, forward Freddie Montero, the club legend, had a 9.2 match rating, 2 goals scored, including the game-winning penalty to put Seattle at 5 goals. 5 shots on the day and 76% passing. Freddie did have the first goal of the match, so he bookended the match with the first and last goals. And Seattle will move on to play the LA Galaxy down in LA. Let me get the official date there for you, because they did announce that finally. But this was a squad. I believe there were 9 players who have spent time in either high school or college in the Seattle area that were able to feature in this match for Seattle, and 11 of them that have featured for the Tacoma Defiance or in the Seattle Sounders Academy. So it was very much a local side that helped Seattle win this match and helped Seattle going forward. Okay, here we go. Yes, May 10th down in LA against the Galaxy at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time is when the next match that Seattle will play in the U.S. Open Cup. So remember that. It is on the road, though. So that is when Seattle will play the next U.S. Open Cup match. Really solid. Again, a nice atmosphere at Starfire, the nice compact confines of Starfire Stadium, Starfire Sports Complex. But nice to see Seattle win. I know that head coach Bryan Saldana did say, hey, this is a tournament that we are trying to win. They're not trying to necessarily go out and have anybody get injured in any of these things with the U.S. Open Cup, considering it's perhaps one of the lower trophies, so to say. But they were able to pull out that victory, and they're on their way to the next round in the U.S. Open Cup. So that, and then they would 3 days later play their next MLS regular season match at Real Salt Lake in a 0-0 draw. Seattle had plenty of opportunities in this match. They were just a hair off sometimes, literally a hair off. Jordan Morris missed a excellent golden opportunity with a header. Instantly knew that he had missed it and kind of put his head in his hands. Our player of the match, midfielder Joao Paulo, JP, a 7.9 match rating, 93% passing percentage, 1 shot and 2 chances created. Again, Seattle had several opportunities throughout the course of this match to go ahead and find the back of the net. They were unable to do so, and they were able to collect a point, split the points with Real Salt Lake, which, isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially considering the fact that it's been very hard for Seattle to win in Real Salt Lake since 2012. I believe that was the last time that they actually won in Real Salt Lake. So over the past week, not bad. I'll take it. I mean, the injury report against Real Salt Lake, not necessarily ideal. Nuhu was out with an illness. Christian Roldan continues to be out with concussion protocol. Brian Schmetzer said he is doing better, but they didn't want to risk it in terms of his long-term health. And they said that was much more important than this match and getting him to play in this match. Goalkeeper Jacob Castro continues to be out with a left adductor strain. And forward Roy Diaz continues to be out with a right hamstring strain, as we mentioned last week, 4 to 5 weeks for that. So again, though, the U.S. Open Cup match, to see so many of those youth players get in and feature, it was a tight one. There was sloppy play a lot of the time. But to see those youth players, to see those players who are eventually going to come up to be more featured with the first team, get up and be able to contribute like they did. Ethan Doubelair scored, I believe, the second goal of the match. Paul Rothrock scored. He's a local guy. Reed Baker-Whitting had an amazing screamer of a goal in the 101st minute to put Seattle up, I believe, take the lead 4-3. So, and then Freddie Montero, the club legend, scoring twice. So it's fun. I mean, that's the U.S. Open Cup. There's a bunch of things like that, a bunch of chaos, pandemonium, madness is going to take place. So happy to see them moving forward. And San Diego played played solid as well. They began, I believe, in 2020. And they put up a hell of a fight against the Sounders. So tips to them. Real Salt Lake, again, it's a tough place to play. Salt Lake, no matter where they're on the table, gives Seattle a hard time. I'm just happy to split the points there, as opposed to, some ugly result, like an ugly result that they had a few weeks ago down in Portland. So we look ahead here. Seattle sits at a 6-win, 2-loss, 2-draw record, which is good for third in MLS and Supporters Shield standings. and first in the Western Conference. Their next match is May 7th, back at home against Sporting Kansas City with a 1:30 p.m. Pacific time start. So they return home to Lumen Field to play a KC team. Anytime I see the Kansas City logo, I think of goalkeeper Tim Melia body slamming Christian Roldan down like a rock bottom in the goal in one of the most bizarre instances I've ever seen on a soccer field.